Hack plants his heels on the 30, steps up, gets a good kickoff. He's going to cross the 20-yard line, bounces right around the 15. And the Cyclones touch it inside the 5, although they'll place it at the 5. So change of possession. Falcons with their third possession of the game with a lot, and I mean a lot of field in front of them. And though they may be discussing a penalty here. So if it's on the Falcons, I would assume that would move it to about the 2 or 3 yard line. .213 to go here in the quarter. You got to figure at this point that the Cyclones are going to bring the pressure, going for potential safety. Everybody up inside the 10-yard line. Handoff comes out to the left, and there is not much room there. Maybe a yard, and they're going to spot him with 2, so they put it down right around the 4. Clock rolling, 1:35 to go here in the quarter.
I guess that's it.
Everybody in tight for the Falcons, trying to just hold on to the ball here. QB scramble over towards the left side, and again, snuffed out pretty quickly by the Cyclones defense. Still a couple yards gained as they get it up to the 10-yard line this time. So third and manageable here with 1:12 to go as the clock continues to run. Time running out here in the first quarter. At this point, the Falcons would love to just get a first down, get a little bit of a breather. They haven't had too much in the way of positive yardage. High snap. Again, QB scramble. And they handed it off. Or was that a fake? There were a couple players kind of hovering around there, but they're going to be short. Fourth down, no gain. Got it back to the line of scrimmage at the 10-yard line. So it looks like the Falcons are just going to let the quarter run out. Try to think about what they want to do, because the punting game has not been good at all here today. But it's an interesting scenario coming up for the Falcons, because you only have 3 yards to pick up a first down. But if you turn the ball over on downs, you're handing the Cyclones a scoring position. So the quarter ends. Teams will swap sides. Everything will go down to the far sideline, or to the end zone on the right side. So Cyclones, as of right now, seem to think that it's going to be a punt. You would have to imagine that's the smarter play, but Smith is back on the 45, his own 45. Falcons do have their punt team out there. 15 minutes is up on the clock as we get ready to start the second quarter. And it has not been an offensive powerhouse of a game thus far. Cyclones have had an interception and a fumble that led to the Falcons' only score of the game. Other than that, we've had a lot of punts. Falcons kicker went with the Aussie-style kick, and I suppose he got it a little bit further than he did on the last couple, but it still didn't really have too much of a good effect. Cyclones will have decent field position to open up their 5th possession of the game. Just been a lot of disjointed play thus far for the Cyclones, and they're going to go, looks like, with a wildcat formation. So D. Smith is technically going to be the quarterback in this scenario. He puts Chandler in motion as they come alongside one another. 3 to the left. Chandler cuts up through the middle, breaks one tackle. Second one was too many, and that's kind of been the story of the run game thus far for the Falcons. You get a good burst, but with everybody playing in the shotgun formation, even though you've moved the ball 4 to 6 yards, you only end up picking 1 or 2. And based on where the official is at, they're going to actually say that he didn't gain anything. So it's still 2nd and 10. Clock rolling here in the second quarter. Cyclones trying to get anything going on the offensive side. Again, the Wildcat. Now they're going to throw it over here towards the near side. That looked like it bounced. And I think even if Guines had made the catch, it wouldn't have helped because he was basically right around the line of scrimmage anyway. So that brings up a 3rd down. Third and 10. Reese stays in there. Three receivers to the near side. One in tight on the left. Reese surveys the field, throws over the middle, and that skies over everybody. So it has not been a good offensive start for the Cyclones. Their defense is really the only thing that's keeping them in the game right now. And again, it's kind of one of those in-between positions for Coach Galladay. Do you go for the points, try to make it 6-3? Or do you keep the offense out there, which has been ineffective? Heck is out on the field, but he's not really moving any further than maybe a yard in. And now it looks like they are going to go for the kick. So a little bit of a personnel swap. Guines is upset. Understandably so. The offense always wants to stay out there. They feel like they're always one play away. And perhaps a few mind games going on as there's a timeout taken by the Cyclones as they try to figure out what they want to do. And as of right now, it looks like the kick team is going to stay out there. So I think the Cyclones might have been running up close to the play clock. So that might have been what forced the timeout. Coach Galladay working the officials as he likes to do. Officials seem ready to get things underway. So Cyclones going to go for the kick. Coach Galladay finally going over to the sideline. So Hack is right in the middle of the field, trying to make it 6-3. Snap is on point. Kick is up, and it's good. Referees had to think about it for a second. But first points on the board for the Cyclones as they cut the lead in half with 13:49 to go here in the second quarter. So if you're the Falcons, obviously you're disappointed with the score thus far, but you got to feel a little bit better about the fact that you got some points on the board. Everything's manageable. If you get a touchdown on your next possession, you're most likely going to take the lead, depending on what your defense does here. Todd Panula coming to you this evening, from Webster Groves High School, home of the Statesmen, and this season also the Missouri Cyclones. We'd like to thank Webster Groves for allowing us to use this facility. Hack waiting for the jet stream to be just right. Now he goes for the kick, and he pooches it right down along the field. Field not on the other side of the 40. They crossed the midfield, though, so a pretty good return for the Falcons. Ball came loose, but pretty sure the runner was down. If they're somehow going to call it a fumble, the Cyclones came up with it, but I don't think that is going to be the case. Absolutely no signals by the official, but based on the reaction of Coach Galladay, I think that they are going to say that he was down, which is the right call. But, I mean, give somebody a signal, blow the whistle, say the play was dead. Don't just start walking up towards the middle of the field and say, I'm going to put the ball down. Fourth possession of the game for the Falcons. They got a little bit going on some run plays the last time around, but not enough to pick up the first down. 1st and 10 from the 48. Actually make it the 47. Again, shotgun snap. 3 to the right. Handoff, trying to go outside the hash marks, and there is absolutely no way you're getting around Ricky Washington as he came in off the left side of the line. Just planted himself right there around the 50. And running back was able to lunge for a yard after that, but ball back on the 49 now. 2nd and 12. 12:40 to go here in the second quarter. Cyclones down by 3. Three receivers to the near sideline. The left from the quarterback's viewpoint. Throws over the middle, and it is incomplete, in and out of the hands of his intended target. It's a pretty solid play, and that is the second time in this game that the Falcons' inability to haul those catches in have kept them from making a pretty good offensive play. Third down and long coming up. Cyclones only bringing 4. They still come with pressure. Quarterback went up close. Almost got a first down. That's going to give them an option here on fourth down. They are going to be short. But they do not have to automatically kick, and it looks like, as of right now, they are going to keep the offense on the field. And the way things have gone, I think that's probably the right call. Because even if you don't pick up anything, at least the Cyclones take over on their side of midfield. And if nothing else, you can pick up a couple yards here, then Falcons get a little bit of momentum. 11:42 to go before halftime. Falcons bring in everybody tight. And they draw the Cyclones offside, so that is going to give them a free set of downs. Cyclones were trying to come with pressure. They're saying that they were drawn off. Everybody's pointing the other direction. But it is going to be offside. So move the chains. Falcons stay in possession. Profit comes back into the game now. Falcons going to spread them out. Nobody in the backfield. Although they'll keep one in tight. 17 stays in as the running back instead of going out wide. Again, a long looping snap. And they're going to go for glory towards the end zone, and it's swatted out of there. Baker coming over to make the defensive play. Both teams had players right there along the goal line, so the ball was up for grabs. Clock stops with 10:55 to go here in the quarter. Second and 10. Ball just a little bit inside the 35-yard line. And in motion, left to right. They fake the handoff. Quarterback goes up the middle. Prophet's got him by the jersey, and he is taken down right around the 33-yard line. So gain of a yard and a half, maybe 2. Rather impressed with the material that the Falcons quarterback's jersey is made out of, because he's been grabbed and yanked several times by the jersey. And somehow that thing has not ripped yet. Timeout taken by the Cyclones with 10:21 to go in the second quarter. Big play coming up here for both teams. Obviously, defensively, the Cyclones want to stop here. They want to get the ball back and try to take their first lead of the game. Cyclones have not been able to get much going offensively, but neither of the Falcons. Their lone touchdown came on a scoop and score after a fumble. But they'd like to get some offensive momentum picked up here with a third down conversion. So Cyclones defense is waiting for them. Falcons got the play that they want. They got three out to the right, one along the numbers on the left, one in the backfield. Everybody goes down. And again, the Cyclones jumped. Are they going to let them have a free play? They will. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter as the Cyclones came up, made the tackle, but there's a receiver right now for the Falcons with his hands out, looking like he thinks maybe they called something on him. And I guess the play doesn't count, so they just put the ball back where it was. Need a sideline reporter. What's going on here?
Where's Trent Cross?
So pass over towards the far side, almost intercepted. Maxwell Weber came over to try to make the grab. Ultimately, all for naught, as it's a turnover on downs.
I see some people wearing that cap on their helmet. Those are the move-back players that can. Yeah. I know Max is wearing his college helmet. Well, you see that pattern that the dude's had? I had a buddy who had to wear one in middle school because he had a brain tumor. And he still played football. I don't know how they let him do that, but he had that big old padding all over his helmet.
Coach Galladay obviously still not happy with the way the offense has been going, so Ledlove stays on the sideline. Reese is in at quarterback. Three receivers to the right, one in the backfield, although they're moving Orlando Jackson around. Looks like he'll split over towards the left.
That's what Nick's doing too. I think they let him 16. But, yeah, I mean, they obviously let him silent. He's better than silent. I mean, they let me, as folks said, it's like, oh, you a whole coach. Because after I asked her how much I owed her. I was like, all right, cool. So it's like $15. And see, let him draw a big pro.
Ball is set, snap taken. It's going to be a pass. No, it's going to be run up towards the left side. Reese has got the wheels. He's going to get a first down as he goes out around the 45-yard line. So a good scramble there. I think that might be the first down for the Cyclones all day.
I used to be the youngest guy in the team at 19 and 6 years later. Why do you want the clock to run? You run out of time.
Even though he went out of bounds, they tell the clock official to roll it. 8:35 to go, and now less. Reese takes a snap, throws left, and again, just not quite on the same page. As the pass was on the outside shoulder. I believe it was intended for Jackson. He slid, got the fingers to it, but once the players go in the wrong direction from where the pass is, those are always difficult to try to make. Got to bring up 2nd and 10 from the 45-yard line.
Not much this game. I mean, on the opening drive, he did stuff like the very first one. But other than that, I don't think he's been in on much. Whoever that right tackle is holding him down. That's a regular play. I don't see him.
Two to the right, one to the left in terms of the receivers. Reese scrambles as he rolls out. Now there's going to be a penalty. So Cyclones going to pick up a first down, but it's not going to matter as the backfield official threw the flag. So that's probably going to be holding. So move it back. Ball put on the 35. First down is right around the 45 on the other side. So Cyclone's going to have to flip things quickly in the next couple plays to at least give themselves an opportunity. Reese takes a snap, looks right. Now rolls over towards his left, calling people back. He's going to be pressured. Throws over the middle. It's caught, and it's a first down for the Cyclones. Great grab there as Preston Schmidt worked himself open. Caught it right around the left hash mark. Did a little spin, got an extra yard or so. And the Cyclones have a first down. Pass was good for over 20 yards. Handoff goes to Perry. He gets himself a handful of yards. So the Cyclones offense starting to get a little bit of momentum here, a little bit of things rolling. Had a couple personnel changes, obviously different quarterback in right now. Giving them a little bit more of a dual threat option.
As a player, I'm glad he's not here. But as a person, yeah.
So 2nd and 5. Reese goes with another pass towards the near sideline. Flag flies in. Incomplete. Looked like the umpire was pointing towards, well, he was initially pointing at the defense. Now it looks like it's going to be on the Cyclones instead. And that's going to move them way back, so I don't know. There might have been an ineligible man downfield or what, but they put it down at the 42. Still second down. 6:04 to go in the quarter. Reese fires a bullet to the left hash mark, and that is caught. Jackson went down to the field, made the grab. He's down at the 30-yard line, another first down. Pass complete for about 12. And now they're going to move it even further. There was a personal foul called on the Falcons. So that'll put the Cyclones in great position. The ball is down now at the 15-yard line. A 15-yard penalty. We've seen for both teams that penalties have kind of been pretty costly in this game thus far. Hasn't necessarily translated into the scoreboard yet, but they have lost opportunities left and right. We'll see if the Cyclones can take advantage this time around. 4:45 to go in the quarter. Clock is rolling. High snap. Handoff. Never came around. Reese escapes the tackle. He's going to scroll. He's going to scramble. Easy for me to say. He passed over towards the left sideline. I believe that was incomplete. So a lot going on there, and it looks like we might have more laundry out on the field. There is a player down for the Cyclones as well. That looks like Jacob Taylor. Clock stops with 4:34 to go here in the second quarter. 6-3 in favor of the Falcons. Falcons coming in undefeated. Trying to maintain that position, but Cyclones in good position to give themselves an opportunity to score. Although, as I say that, they've moved the ball back 10 yards, so now it's on the 25, so another penalty against the Cyclones. So all that scramble around was for nothing. And in motion here to the right. Reese scrambles to the right, gives the forearm, and then throws it incomplete. He's taken down pretty hard after the fact, but they had a good hold on him. So even though the fans for the Cyclones wanted a penalty, that was never really going to happen. So it at least keeps it with the incomplete is more of a manageable here as we get second down from the 25. But the first down is around the 5-yard line, so Cyclones with some work to do here. Second down by 3. Reese and Perry in the backfield. Perry comes over to the right. Two receivers on either side. Reese with a quick out towards the numbers. And making the grab there was Scott. He's down around the 20-yard line, and another flag out. Clock rolling with 3:45, second down. So the penalty was on the Falcons. Play doesn't count. Pressure coming from the edges. The pass towards the near sideline. It is caught. Gines makes the catch right around the 3-yard line. And that'll be a first down for the Cyclones with 3:23 to go here in the second quarter. They are knocking on the doorstep. Cyclones trying to get up there quickly. They get a timeout taken with 3:19 to go. Falcons didn't like the personnel that they had out there. They were trying to scramble to get some new players out there, but had to burn one in order not to just give the Cyclones a bit of a free pass from the 3-yard line. So it's been an offensive struggle here for both teams, but the Cyclones with an opportunity, we have to focus on that word, just an opportunity to put an offensive touchdown on the board, which would be our first of the game for either team. All on the 3-yard line, first down. Two offset receivers on the right side. Now Scott goes over to the left, and there is movement along the line. Both teams were going, so we'll see who they call it on. Going to be first down no matter what, and based on the reaction of Gines, it looks like Cyclones are going to be a little bit closer. So put it right around the 1.5-yard line. Clock rolling, a little bit over 3 minutes left to go before halftime. Scott goes in motion to the left. Reese going to run it right up the middle. He is hit right around the 1-yard line. And he's going to be short of the goal. He might have gained a half yard because it looks like they're going to spot him right around the 1-yard line. 2:50 to go. Second quarter. Cyclones trying to punch it in. Obviously, hindsight is 20/20. Does that seem like a design delay? But you just wonder maybe that split second if Reese just plants his foot, takes off right away, maybe if he gets in. But easy to say for me up here in the booth. I'm not the one out there getting blasted. High snap. Reese is able to catch it. He's going to run outside the hash marks to the left. Tries to cut back towards the goal line. He makes a lunge for it. They're looking. And he is down. Might have gained a foot based on the spot. So thus far, an impressive defensive stand here for the Falcons. This would be a real punch in the gut if the Cyclones have to try to settle for either a field goal or even going forward on a fourth down. So we get another clock stoppage with 1:55 to go before halftime. Cyclones trying to punch it in. You can tell that this is my first game in a while. I think I called the Cyclones Falcons twice. Now I put the Saints in here for no reason.
It's our hockey team.
But that is true. I'm still in hockey mode. This basically boils down to who wants it more. Your 11 against our 11. Who's going to dig in? Who's going to gain that yard? Or who's going to keep them away? Third down. 2, maybe 3 feet away from that goal line. But those are those small little inches that make up the difference in these kind of games. 6-3 right now in favor of the Falcons. Cyclones trying to take the lead to go under center. Man in motion to the right. Reese goes up the middle, and I don't think he's going to get it. And based on where they're marking him, he might have actually lost a little bit. Just not enough of a push. Good job by the Falcons to stuff that line. And this is a big decision. I would not be at all surprised to see the offense stay out there for the Cyclones, or do you go for the tie? 90 seconds left in the half. Hack is on the sideline. Has not even made a move towards the field, so Cyclones going to go for it here on fourth down. Looking for a seam. They're going to go back into the shotgun set. Less than a minute to go in the first half. Going to hand it off, and it is stuffed back towards the 5-yard line, so the Cyclones go for it. They hand it off to Vincent Perry.
That's crazy they did not score there.
But that is a turnover on downs and a disastrous turn of events there for the Cyclones. And now not only do you not have a tie game, you're still down by 3. So if my math is correct, and that's an iffy proposition, I believe the Cyclones have 2 timeouts. Got to figure they're going to bring some pressure here, try to get the quarterback around the goal line. Sneak play goes over towards the right, gain of maybe a yard, up towards the 8. There's something weird about the angles on this particular field, though. hard to tell where the original line of scrimmage was. I believe it was the 5. Clock still rolling, 13 seconds left. Another scramble over towards the right side. And the Cyclones will bring him down, but that will do it. We are at halftime. So the Cyclones' best offensive chance got it all the way down to the 1 yard line, and they were unable to punch it in on 4 downs. Other than that, it has been a lot of defense and some special teams, as we've seen the punters out there for both teams quite a bit. 6-3 is your score going into the break. The Falcons are on top of the Cyclones. Keep it right here. We'll have more Cyclones football coming up. Better snap this time. Reese looks over here towards the near sideline, but he wasn't on the same page again with Gines. Gines got kind of turned around a little bit, and once he realized that the pass was coming out towards the sideline, he slipped. That'll bring up 3rd down. And about 8. Clock stops with 14:09 to go here in the 3rd. So the Cyclones need a big play here on 3rd down to at least get themselves close to 1st down yardage. You don't really want to let this slip away after coming up with a big special teams play right off the kickoff. Snap goes right at the chest. Out here in the flat for Chandler. He crosses midfield across the 45. He gets up towards the 1st down marker, and he's got it. Great run after the catch there for Chandler as he muscles his way up for a 1st down as he's pushed out at the 40-yard line. Tiptoed along the sideline but kept himself in bounds. Cyclones going to go quick here. They hand it off to Chandler. He's able to break through up the middle, now over towards the right hash mark. Slipped a little bit and went down. Chandler calling for a substitution. They're going to put Perry back into the game. Clock was rolling. Now it is still rolling with 13:30 to go in the 3rd. Other than now, they stop it. Ball spotted at the 37, at least as of right now. Clock rolls again. Cyclones have it with 2nd and 7. Two receivers on either side. Scott going towards the left. I don't know if the linesman's presence threw off that pass or if he got a fingertip on it. Didn't end up anywhere close to where Cyclones would have wanted it, so it ends up as 3rd down on the incompletion. .58 on the 3rd quarter clock. Reese steps back, being pressured from the right, rolls out to his left. He's looking downfield, chucks it up, and it is intercepted, but out of bounds. He was looking downfield for McKinney. Just not enough there for the Cyclones. They picked up a good 1st down, but still going to force a punt here. Unless we see some more trickery. Hack is back as he puts his feet down right around the 49-yard line. Snap is low, but the punt is up. Kicking it over here towards the near sideline, but not enough angle on it. Crosses the goal line, and it'll be brought back out to the 20-yard line with 12:40 left in the third. First possession of the second half coming up for the St. Louis Falcons. Falcons' lone score of the game came back on the third possession of the game overall, and it was actually on the Cyclones' second possession. There's some pressure, ended up forcing a fumble from Kyle Ledlove at midfield, and then the scoop and score went the entire way. That gave the Falcons 6 points. They still have 6 right now. They are up by 3. Shotgun snap. It took a weird bobble. I don't know what happened there. It went directly to the running back, but that definitely wasn't what they intended. Ends up as a pretty sizable loss. Goes down. Again, it's hard to tell from the angle. I believe it's down around the 17. So a loss of 3. 3 receivers to the left, 1 way out to the right. Another high snap. Falcons looking to go with the scramble. And just not too much there. Might have gotten it back to the original line at the 20. Miller coming up. He was in on that stop. That brings up third down, 10 to go. Nose of the ball is on the 20-yard line. Got to get to the 30 for a Falcons first down. Under 11 to go here in the third quarter. Man in motion, left to right. Slow developing play. Throw to the right hash mark is incomplete. Too low. So a 3 and out for the Falcons defense. Smith on the 48, ready to take the kick if it gets that far. Thus far, though, the punts have basically gone straight off the inside of the foot of the punter and over towards the left sideline. And I don't see a penalty flag, but the Cyclones didn't seem too happy with the whistle. So I don't know if they were thinking that it might have been delay a game on the kicking team or what might have happened, but as of right now, I believe they're going to say that it was a timeout taken by the Falcons. One thing I do like about the Falcons, you know when they're going to run a kicking play because their kicker's got those bright-colored leggings. 10:44 to go. This punt's actually going to stay within the field. It's a high kick. It is taken right around the 50. We'll see if they give them forward progress because the ball was brought down right around the 48, and that is where they're going to mark it. So Keelan Smith backpedaled just a couple steps, and that ended up costing him. But when you got a bunch of guys gunning you down, then that's understandable. He was trying to make a play, just didn't have the room. So 1st and 10 for the Cyclones, second possession of this half. Cyclones did get a first down on their first possession, but then couldn't make anything out of that one. That one that's still a killer, though, is their last possession of the first half. You get it all the way down to the 1 yard line. You take 4 cracks at it, and on 4th down they ended up losing yardage, so they were stopped each and every time. And it's one of those situations you figure, well, we've got a whole half after this to still try to get after it, but you wonder if, in hindsight, maybe they take the points. Reese rolled out to his left, threw it a little too high for his intended target. The 2nd down coming up. He was looking for Tyler Ball on the outside. It's just been a lot of tough sledding for the Cyclones offense here today. And again, you're still trying to figure out your personnel. You're trying to figure out what kind of plays you can run best, but the lack of cohesion is starting to become a little bit worrisome, especially in this game, if not the season. You're 4 games in. This is the 5th game overall. Throw over the middle is incomplete to Scott, although he's making a case that he made the grab. The officials aren't going to fall for that one, though, so 3rd down. 10:16 to go here in the 3rd. 3-point game. A lot of threes right now. Good snap. Reese looking here to the near side. Chandler's got the ball on the toss out. Breaks through 1 tackle, but he's going to be short of the 1st down. Brought down at the 45, but that at least gets them on the positive side of midfield. We'll see if the Cyclones decide to go for it. They're going to keep their offensive personnel out on the field. They've gone for it on plenty of 4th downs, but have yet to convert one. They need 3 yards. Falcons came through and there was contact, so now the question is whether or not they're going to say somebody on the line for the Cyclones moved first. So the far side umpire came in, had a discussion. They are going to say that it was on the Cyclones, so that'll push them back to the 50-yard line. And that makes the decision a little bit easier for the Cyclones. They're going to punt. Hack gets a big boot into this one, way up into the air. It's going to land right around the 10-yard line. Takes a decent bounce for the Falcons as it finds their man over on the far sideline, and he's going to cut it right up along the line, and now he's in behind everybody. He's cutting up towards the 40-yard line, and what seemed like a magnificent punt ends up right in the hands of the Falcons. And they find a seam up the right sideline to get on the positive side of midfield. So the pendulum swings back the other way. Falcons ball right around the 40-yard line. They're actually going to put it at the 38. Maybe the 37. The referee's still moving the ball. It is indeed the 38. So 9:08 left to go here in the third quarter. Cyclones defense has got to come up big here. Shotgun snap right around the shoelaces of the quarterback. They get it up to the 35-yard line, maybe even further, down to the 34. Gain of about 4 yards, 2nd and 6 coming up. 8:45 to go in the quarter with the clock running. Another low snap, skips off the ground. Quarterback scramble up the middle. Definitely got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe even a yard. Looks like he's down around the 32. So the center quarterback exchanges for the Falcons have really been kind of a point of contention in today's contest. They've a lot of times been those high rainbow snaps that don't give the quarterback a lot of time to survey the field. Pressure coming, forces a scramble up the middle, and again the Cyclones are able to snuff it out this time. Right back to the 32-yard line, although the near side sideline judge might have given him a yard. But it doesn't matter as the Cyclones were offside. That gives the Falcons a fresh set of downs. 7:45 left to go here in the third. First down and 10 coming up from the 27. Falcons with 4 receivers, 2 on each side, 1 in the backfield. Made a change at quarterback. Number 4 has the ball. He's going to go outside towards the numbers. We've got another penalty coming up. And now we've got some tempers flaring over by the Falcons sideline, and we'll just try to let it all play out. I believe the initial penalty was going to be holding, but who knows what went over there along the sideline. Damon Clark not at all happy, so I have to figure one of the penalties is likely been called on him. So if it's just the 2 penalties, you would figure that would end up as a potential 5-yard gain for the Falcons because it would be the 10 yards for their holding, but then 15 yards the other way. But that's pure conjecture at this point. The officials having a little bit of a talk. So after all that, the penalties ended up really hurting the Falcons. They must have picked up an extra one because that moved the ball all the way back to the 49-yard line. Right around 7 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Second down coming up. Falcons take the snap, and here comes the pressure and going down. Hollins comes in to make the tackle. He had some help as well, but he was the first one there with another sack. It was Sack City on the first possession of the game for the Falcons as the Cyclones were continually bringing pressure. Haven't seen quite enough of that afterwards, but unfortunately the Cyclones are going to lose the services, at least for now, of Christopher Forrest, as he seemed to be favoring his left arm, so not sure if that's just a stinger or hopefully not any kind of shoulder issue. But it puts the Falcons on the wrong side of the 50 with just a little over 6 minutes to go here in the third. A third and forever. The Falcons would have to get it down to the 16-yard line to pick up a first down. Pressure coming again. They just toss one up. It's going to be an interception. The Cyclones have the ball over towards the left sideline. Holding on to it after the INT was Trey Vaughn. And that was the defensive pickup that the Cyclones needed. They get the ball back there on the right side of the 50. And we'll see what the offense can do this time around. Now the Cyclones turning back the clock. They're going to go with Brandon Patterson at quarterback. So third Cyclones quarterback of the day. They tried Ledlove, then they went to D. Reese. Now the man known as Bam Bam will get his chance. Trying to just steady the ship right now. He's got Chandler in at running back. Two receivers split out to either side. Guines goes in motion, cuts it back towards the right. Handoff goes to Chandler. He cuts back to his right, avoids one tackle. Tried to push his way up through the middle, gained a yard for sure, maybe just a little bit more. He crossed the 40. Refs in this league just don't like to give them those extra inches and put it right on the 40. Again, two receivers to either side. Patterson takes it right off the left hip. Throws one over the middle, and it's an interception going back the other way. crossing the 50. The Falcons have it. They cut it up, and it's going to be a pick six, perhaps. Running out of steam, and they make the tackle, perhaps. A game-saving tackle there for Tyler Ball. Cyclones defense going to have to go back to work as they try to hold this back to a field goal. There is laundry out on the field. Looks like they're going to call holding. So that really changes the complexion of this turnover. The turnover is going to stand. It is going to be an interception, but the flag is way back at the 45. Now more jawing going on between these two teams. Wouldn't expect any less. Big rivalry matchup here locally. Falcons obviously want to keep their record unblemished, but they would just love to pick up a win here against the Cyclones. So both teams with interceptions on the last two possessions. But what looked like could have been a pick six ends up not going across the goal line. Big tackle made by Tyler Ball. But then holding on the return negated all of that anyway. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons from their own 45. Two receivers on either side for the Falcons. That's been their pretty standard formation here in this game. Cyclones bring one up through the middle late, and that ended up busting through the hole. Coming through to make the stop was Hatcher. Getting him free a little bit was Julian Hollins because his late push up through the middle drew the blocker. Just that slight delay in the pressure forced the lineman to kind of pick which way he was going to go. Second down after a loss of, looks like about 3. 2nd and 13. Slow snap, and they're going to get the quarterback again. Another sack, and the penalty comes out, the penalty flag. They're going to call him for a horse collar. Which I thought that was really only supposed to be from the back. And now they're going to change it to a face mask, so the penalty still stands. So it's 3rd down, and the officials still deciding where the ball goes. And they get a 1st down because of that. Clock rolling with 3:40 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Still a 3-point game. Lack of offensive consistency for either team has really been the story, along with the penalties, as quarterback was able to push his way for a couple. Good job by the Cyclones to hold on the tackle, as there's a bit of a size mismatch up there. Pretty sure that was Isaiah Holmes coming up to make the hit. Looking left on the pass. Caught inside the 40. Down at the 38. Third down coming up. Cyclones need a stand right here. Third down at about 3. Cyclones going a little bit smaller on the line, trying to keep the speed out there. And now we get a timeout taken. Falcons the one to take it. 1:55 to go here in the third quarter. Big third down coming up for both of these teams. Right now it's still a 3-point game. And that's been the score since way back in the Cyclones' 5th possession of the first half, when they kicked that field goal to make it 6-3. Lone touchdown of the game was a scoop and score from midfield defensively for the Falcons. That was way back on the 3rd overall possession of the game. So a lot of defense, a lot of special teams in this game. A lot of laundry on the field as well. The referees, I don't know if they're getting paid by the flag or what's going on. The Falcons going to keep it in tight. Kind of an interesting decision since they haven't really had any success out of this formation. They run it towards the right. They're going to come close, and they will get the first down. Late push. Got it well over the 35, down around the 33, maybe 34, closer to the 33. So fresh set of downs coming up for the Falcons. 90 seconds left in the quarter. So that was kind of an interesting formation because at number 6, their normal quarterback was split out more towards the right. They snapped it directly to the running back, and he was able to pick up enough. Got to go with a quarterback scramble again. Cyclones came with pressure, but they're going to miss some of the tackles, and a gain of about 5. Maybe a little bit more, so it was a push and roll towards the end there. Under a minute to go here in the third, as the Falcons doing a good job of clock management here and also picking up positive yardage. You got to figure with so much time spent out on the field and having a little bit where they're being unsuccessful here, Cyclones defense perhaps getting a little frustrated. They flush the runner out towards the left, but he gains the sideline, reaches the ball across, and he's got a first down. Forced out of bounds with 27 seconds left. But the Falcons reversing the flow of play, bring it back over here towards the near sideline. They've got another first down. Falcons let the clock roll, and they're going to run it into the fourth quarter. Up by 3, but they're inside the red zone with the ball down at the 19. Both teams will swap sides. Cyclones defense getting a much-needed breather as they've been out on the field for a good portion of this game. They've been trying to cycle guys in and out. They've done a pretty good job of it, but it's just very difficult when you've spent this much time defending. And as we go into that fourth quarter, with the Cyclones down by 3, that inability to get it into the end zone right before the half is really looming large right now. It's one of those things that's hindsight is 20/20. I don't think there's hardly anybody out there that would say it was the wrong decision to go for it. You've got 4 downs to try to punch it in. But credit to the Falcons, they were able to come up with the stand. 15 minutes left in regulation. So we start the fourth quarter. First down from the 19. Again, that big set coming up for the Falcons. Movement, flags. Usually anytime they blow at that, it's going to be a false start. So that'll move it back for the Falcons. Number 4 is checked in as the new quarterback, Wildcat, what have you. Snap taken at the 30, rolled out here towards the right, outside the hash marks, lofted up towards the end zone, and it is caught by the Cyclones. They have got the they've got the interception. I was about to say touchback. I think that everybody's kind of looking around. So if it's the Cyclones' ball, which it should be, it'll be their possession at the 20. That is where they're going to put it. So the Cyclones coming up with a big interception. The Falcons were doing a really good job of clock management, running the ball, picking up chunks of yardage here and there, and then oddly they go with a pass play with a guy that's only taken probably 2 or 3 snaps at quarterback all game long, not counting the run plays that they've done. And it ends up costing the Falcons possession. So interceptions on 3 straight possessions. If you split them up, 2 for the Falcons, 1 for the Cyclones. And now the Cyclones going to go with their 4th quarterback of the day, Raymond Holmes, coming into the game now. Holmes takes the snap, looking up the middle. He's going to take off. Had a little bit of a seam, and he's brought down right around the 25. They're going to give him the 27. And now there's a man down in the backfield for the Falcons. Official timeout. 14:39 to go here in the fourth quarter. And that does not look good at all. So hopefully for the player and for the Falcons in general, maybe just a cramp, but too early to assume with that. They are just massaging the leg, so hopefully that would indicate maybe more of a cramp. Potential muscle strain, tear. But obviously when a player is punching the ground in pain like that, you always worry that it's some sort of ligament issue. So Cyclones with the ball, 14:39 to go in the quarter. Second down coming up. Second down, and we'll say 3 yards. A good pickup of 7 on that first down. Holmes going to stay in as the quarterback.
Oh, yeah. So, about a year now. Making advance.
Chandler swaps positions over to the right. One receiver to the right, everybody else to the left. Holmes takes the snap, pressure coming from his backside. He's able to roll past it. Now he's got Green out in front. He's going to cross the 35 over the 40. He's out to midfield, and he gains some extra yardage. A great quarterback run on the scramble play as he was forced out of the pocket and made a lot out of nothing. And now the Cyclones are rolling as they have the ball on the right side of midfield. 2 runs for Holmes. Both end up in positive yardage, whether they were designed that way or not. It ends up working out for the Cyclones. Closing in on 14 minutes to go in the quarter. From the 47-yard line, Holmes looks out to his left, takes the snap. Receivers run straight out. Now they make their moves down up towards the goal line, and there's another interception. Cyclones trying to find the ball carrier. He's out towards the 30. He's going to get back up towards midfield. Now there's a late penalty that comes out right around the 50-yard line. So 4 straight interceptions. 2 for each team. As of right now, the ball will be spotted right around the 47-yard line again. But there's a penalty flag at the 45. There was one around midfield as well. Cyclones defense is on the field, so the penalty's going to stand for sure. Right now, it looks like the Cyclones defense is trying to line up around the 40, maybe the 35. There's no ball out on the field, so they haven't spotted anything yet. So I'm assuming there was holding on the run back, which pushes it all the way back to the 34-yard line. Nevertheless, a change in possession. Both teams were starting to pick up some positive yardage with the run plays, and then they go through the air and turn the ball over. Handoff quickly taken down, just nowhere to go. Busting through was Hatcher, and he's able to take down the runner. Called Hatcher's name several times in this game, along with Julian Hollins. Had Mo Profit make a few tackles, and Damon Clark has stepped up as well. At front 6 or 7, depending on their formation, has done a pretty good job for the Cyclones. They come with pressure along the edge, but the pass comes over the middle. It is almost intercepted. It went through the hands of its intended target and was almost picked up by Weber. Made a good lunge for it, just saw it a little bit late. I think he was tracking, intending for the receiver to potentially make the catch, and once he saw it come through, it's a little too late to react. Third down coming up from the 30-yard line. 12:42 to go here in the fourth quarter. Cyclones trail by 3. Falcons have the ball. And we get a whistle. I don't see a penalty flag, but the sideline judge is pointing over towards the Cyclones. And it ends up against the Falcons. Okay. So false start against the Falcons. Pushes it back to the 25. Still third down. Just a 4-man rush. Pass over the middle, and it's intercepted again. The Cyclones have it. The ball was caught at the 40-yard line. We'll wait and see where they're going to spot it. They are going to push it back towards the 38, but nevertheless, it is the Cyclones' ball as the pick was made by Maxwell Weber. Three straight interceptions for the Falcons, 5 overall if you combine them between the two teams. 12:33 to go here in the fourth. And you're getting down to that crunch time where you just don't know how many more possessions you're going to have in any particular game. So the Cyclones need to start picking up positive yardage, stringing things together. Trying to find that right formulation of players and quarterback. Taking the snap is Holmes. He's going to go up the middle, and I don't think he even got back to the line. I think they might be a little bit generous. So they'll put it back at the 38 again. 2nd and 10. Three receivers to the left. High snap taken by Holmes. Looks downfield, and he is wrestled down by the hips. Just nobody getting open downfield for either team. Trying to go for some of those deep balls. There might have been space open in the mid-range, but none of the routes were taking up that spot on the field, and I don't know that Holmes would have had enough time for anybody to adjust anyway. So the ball goes back to the 31. Cyclones need the, we'll call it 48-yard line to get a first down. Holmes bouncing around in the pocket. Just tosses one over the middle. It is caught at the 40-yard line. And they'll put it closer to the 39, but that's going to bring out the punt team. So another turnover goes for naught. I guess from the Cyclones' perspective, at least they didn't hand it right back with an interception, that they are going to have to punt it away. Hack goes out. Falcons have their returner back at the 30-yard line. Now we get whistles all over the place, and I think we're going to get to delay a game on the Cyclones, so that'll move them back. think one way or the other, Cyclones were probably going to get penalized on that. It may have had 12 men on the field. 9:35 to go. Hack takes a snap, gets a booming kick. It's going to cross the 25-yard line. Falcons take it. They're going to bring it outside in between the hash marks and the numbers, and now they cut back towards the left. Open space up towards midfield. The Falcons cross the 45 down to the 30, and they have got it up towards the goal line. It's a touchdown. But there is laundry on the field way back at the 35. This one is probably coming back. The official moved his flag up towards the 50. One way or the other, I'm pretty sure it's on the Falcons. There was also a penalty down by the goal line. And now the side judge has thrown his hat. Referee threw the hat as well. There's another flag down by the 40. There's stuff all over the field. Pretty sure there's a third or fourth flag that's down by the 47-yard line. This will be really interesting to see how this goes. You have to figure that the touchdown's coming off the board no matter how it plays out, which it isn't even officially on the scoreboard here in the stadium. But I guess theoretically you would have to say that it's 12-3 right now with the touchdown that will be negated by the penalties. But that would be twice in this game now that huge special teams plays for the Falcons would end up being negated by penalties. One of the officials is having a pretty spirited discussion with the Falcons coach, so they're obviously not going to be happy with the result, but as of right now, there is 9:14 to go here in the fourth quarter. Cyclones defense will be out on the field. It'll be Falcons ball. The only question now is where. So everybody finally has their hats back on. The flags are going back into pockets. And it looks like they're going to put the ball down at the 35-yard line. That's another big special teams mishap for the Falcons. We saw one earlier in the game as well where they thought they were going to have a return. That was actually an interception return that almost went back. It was a big tackle, but there was a hold on the return as well. And now there's more laundry on the field. Move it back to the 30. Quick pass out to the flat, up to the 30-yard line, and now the 35. So they've regained the original line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10, and we're going to get a hold on the Falcons. So that'll keep it 2nd down, but move it 10 yards back. So instead of the 35, which was the original line, it'll go back to the 25. And maybe more, because they're going to take it from the spot of the foul. So it'll be more closer to the 22-yard line. And apparently it's 1st down again. Okay. Bobbled snap, still handled by the quarterback for the Falcons. He dives his way up towards the 25-yard line. So after all that, now we're back to 2nd down from the 25. 1st down would be the 45. Cyclones switching defensive personnel, trying to keep players as fresh as they can here for these late stages. At this point, if you're the Cyclones offense, you got to figure you just got to get somewhere close to field goal range. At least give yourself an opportunity for a tie. They go deep on the pass, and it is caught over everybody. It's going to be a touchdown for the Falcons, down to the 10-5 touchdown. It is 12-6. They sprang the surprise. Defender got in behind. And it is a big touchdown. It goes from the 25 all the way down for the score. 7:49 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Falcons up by 9. We'll see what they do with the special teams play. Looks like they're going to go for 2. There was some movement. They're going to go with the outside play. There was some contact there. And the flag came in. I'm pretty sure we're going to do that all over again. Find a seam up the left side, and there's the score. 2-point conversion made. Score is 14-3 in favor of the Falcons. Cyclones defense not happy. They've held this all game long, and then a late touchdown over the top. It's an injured Falcon down in the end zone. And obviously his teammates concerned with his health, but they find themselves up by 11 points with 7:49 to go. Cyclones basically going to have to throw everything and the kitchen sink here on the offensive end. Just a well-executed play for the Falcons. The Cyclones, it looked like there might have been a little bit of a miscue. It was hard to tell because I was watching the ball more than the defenders' patterns, but they had 2, if not 3 players in the vicinity. But again, the receiver obviously knows where the play is going. The defenders are trying to figure things out. And it was just placed exactly where it needed to be, well lofted, over the top of everybody. Absolutely no opportunity for anybody to make a play on that ball in blue. And once that ball was caught, there was no catching him. Falcons player is walking off, but with the help of some teammates, so we'll see whether or not he's able to come back. And unfortunately for them, that does look like it's number 6, who's been their quarterback throughout the majority of the day. So if you're the Cyclones right now, all you can do is tighten up those shoulder pads and get to work. It's a 2-score game, under 8 to go. Cyclones would like a big special teams play here to get them rolling. High end over end kick. Bounces inside the 20-yard line. Fielded. Cyclones bring it back up through the middle. Looking for a seam. And Gines was unable to keep his feet. Just too many red jerseys in there. Now we're going to have more penalties. Unless they find a way to even this out, it's going to go against the Cyclones, I would have to imagine, which will put them inside their 10-yard line. We'll just kind of let everything play out as it stands right now. I'm just kind of guessing. And the Cyclones are indeed being backed up. So it ends up being just a 10-yard penalty. I thought it was going to be a personal foul. Puts it at the 12-yard line, but that's still a long way to go. 7:45 to go here in the fourth. Holmes still in at quarterback. Chandler the running back. Holmes fires one over the middle, caught by Gines. He slices his way through. He finds a seam up the middle, over towards the right hash mark. He's down as he crossed the 40-yard line. Gets himself up to the 42. That's the kind of play that the Cyclones needed to try to get things rolling on the offensive end. 7:30 and now left as the chain gang is trying to catch up. They spot the flag at the 42. Quick snap to Holmes. Pressure coming from the right end. Holmes rolls his way out. He's up towards the line. He's going to chuck one up in the air. It's caught! It's caught at the 30-yard line, maybe the 29. Is a little bit of extra tumble was made there by D. Reese. 2 big pass plays here for the Cyclones. We get a stoppage with 6:59 to go here in the fourth. That was a little bit of a duck coming out of the hands of Holmes, but it had enough on it. The defense kept going. Reese planted his feet right around the 40, and he was able to roll up to the 38. So in 2 plays, the Cyclones may have gained more yardage than we've seen almost throughout the rest of the day. Clock is rolling. Again, 2 receivers split out to each side. Holmes and Chandler there. Holmes takes the snap. He looks over through the middle and fired it too quickly for Scott to catch up to. Clock stops with 6:37 to go. Cyclones have it inside the 30. At this juncture, you just need points of any kind. They've already had an onside kick recovered. So if you get a score, maybe you go for some special teams trickery. Here's Holmes taking the snap. Holding going to be called against the Cyclones. Pass out here towards the near sideline was incomplete. Doesn't matter, as that was going to come back no matter what. Pretty sure there were at least 2 linemen for the Cyclones that had a grab on somebody. They're arguing that they were just had the hand under the armpit, but there was jersey separation from my vantage point. Gines comes out. McKinney's back in. Second down. Cyclones with the ball back at the 38. So loss of 10 on the holding call. Holmes takes it. Looks like he wants to cut up through the middle. He's going to roll out to the right. He's got a little bit of space. Dances around. Now he's going to make the pass. And it is short. He had Scott coming back. Just couldn't get enough on it. Third down. 6:04 to go. Cyclones in a spot now that they did not want to be in, to where you basically have to go for it on 4th down, because they desperately need points on this possession. In the backfield is Meyer. Holmes again trying to dance around. He's got Falcons all over him. He's able to push around one. Big block in the backfield. He's able to put it out, and it's intercepted. Again, the pass was just a little too short. He was looking for Orlando Jackson, but the scramble play ends up turning the ball over. 5:51 left to go here in the 4th. Third interception of the quarter, or of the half, I should say, for the Cyclones. It's a Falcons ball on the 30-yard line. Going to go with a heavy formation. Fumble on the snap, and the Cyclones have it. Hollins covered the ball. There's a discussion among the officials, but they point the Cyclones' way, and just like that, Cyclones are back in business offensively. They'll have the ball around the 26-yard line, maybe the 27. But what a turn of events. It looked like the Falcons were going to at least be able to run some time off the clock, if not bleed this one all the way down. Instead, there was a miscue on the snap. I don't know if it came early or if it was just low. But a great play there by Hollins to dive over and cover it up. And now Coach Galladay's talking it over with the officials. Cyclones offense is still out on the field, so the turnover will still count. Only 4 seconds came off the clock. Seventh possession of the half for the Cyclones. And given the good fortune that they've been handed right here, you just absolutely have to make something of this. A field goal, touchdown, anything at this point. Try a drop kick for 2 points. Holmes fakes a little throw out to the flat. Flag comes in. It's going to be holding. Holmes gets himself inside the 20, but it's not going to matter. We've seen it time and time again. It was kind of a thorn in the side of the Cyclones offense last year. Penalties just kept pushing them back. And that's ended up put at the 42, so that had to have been somebody saying something after the fact. That was more than just a hold. Perhaps hands to the face. Holmes looks out to the right. Now he's calling for somebody to move on the left. Scrambles to the right. Pushes one over the middle. That's caught. Across the 30. Inside the 25. A little spin move down towards the 15-yard line. Towards the 10-yard line. Still trying to muscle across. And it's inside the 10. A great team effort there after the catch was made by Vincent Perry. He was able to muscle his way inside the 20. He just kept the legs moving. He was aided a little bit at the end there by Preston Schmidt. 4:50 to go. Cyclones hand it off. No, it's going to be Holmes with the keep. He's able to get himself inside the 5. He's still churning his legs as well. He was down around the 3-yard line. Clock is rolling, though. That's the enemy. 4:35 and down. Cyclones trying to keep the Falcons on their heels. They snap it to Holmes. He's going to hand it off. Cutting back towards the middle. They cross the goal line. Touchdown! That makes it 14 to 9. I think there might have been a question about a penalty, but the penalty was going to be against the Falcons. So Cyclones don't accept it. They get the touchdown. They've got the offense on the field, 14 to 9, trying to make it 14 to 11 to where they can kick a field goal for the tie. Holmes is in. He's got a bigger set, though. Perry is the running back. Preston goes in motion. Holmes is looking. He's throwing to Preston, and it's intercepted. This one could go the distance. Holmes has the wheels. Can he get the angle? He will stop it. So at least you keep 2 points off the board there. It'll be a kick return now. 4:19 to go. Question for the Cyclones is whether or not you want to just strictly put it into the hands of your defense with a lot of field, or do you want to roll the dice and go for another onside kick? There's a penalty flag out on the field. I mean, that's been the case for, feels like 50% of the game. So if it's on the Cyclones, you got to figure you have to kick it, because Hack has enough leg to where he could still get decent defensive field position. And they are going to put it down at the 20. So at 4:19, I mean, that's kind of close, but if you get 3 quick stops, you still give your offense a little bit of time. But when you take the timeouts also comes into play. Do you want to try to hold on to some offensively or spend them all on defense? That's situational. Falcons with 6 players up by the 30-yard line. Cyclones going to go with a little bit of a pooch kick as it's fielded at the 40, backed up towards the 32. Cyclones Gunners, they got 1 through, but that's not going to be enough. And finally a shoestring tackle over here along the near sideline, and it's Perry was able to take the man down. So Falcons got what they wanted out of the situation as they got a few extra ticks off the clock, and they gained decent field position as it's up close to midfield. So now it comes down to the vaunted Cyclones defense against the Falcons offense. Falcons have not done much with the ball here today, but they made it when it counted. All it took was one big play that put them up at the time 14-3. Now it's 14-9. Again, the Falcons do have another quarterback in there, number 0. We're on the Wildcat. He's going to gain positive yardage as he's forced out of bounds after a 5-yard gain, getting it on the right side of the 50. Clock stops with 4:07 to go. And another lineman for the Falcons, a little bit worse for wear. Ball spotted at the 48. Falcons need the 42-yard line to get a first down. Profit couldn't take the man down, but he's going to be swarmed. He's going to be taken down right around the 40-yard line. They'll spot it probably close to the 42. But a good swarming defensive play there for the Cyclones. Clock continues to run. 3:45 now left to go here in the 4th. Third down coming up. 3rd and long. Cyclones going to hold on to what timeouts they have. You absolutely have to get a stop here on 3rd down. Going to run it out towards the left, up the hash mark, just nothing there. They get across the 45, down at the 46. Cyclones take the timeout. 3:17 left to go here in the fourth quarter. It's going to be a punt play for the Falcons. So the defense did what they needed to do for the Cyclones. Can the offense come up here in the late stages? So now the Cyclones put in a position similar to what the Falcons were just a few possessions ago. The offense had not done much. They got the touchdown on the last time around. You need at least a field goal to get things tied up. Obviously, if you're the Cyclones, you'd like to just be in a position to go for the win. But given the way that the game has gone thus far, you need to at least give yourself an opportunity to continue to play. Keelan Smith is back around the 21-yard line. And the kick again off to the left. It's going to be out of bounds right around the 35. In fact, they put it right at the 35. Now he keeps moving. 34-yard line. The Cyclones with the ball. 3:17 to go. Cyclones got a really good push on the last possession. Couple solid passes from Holmes. Some great running after the catch as well by Perry. Set themselves up inside the 5-yard line. What do they have up their sleeve right now? Holmes going with an empty backfield. Two on either side, one in tight to the right. Gines pushed back off the line. Holmes takes the high snap, going to run it right up the middle. He's gaining positive yardage, keeps the feet moving, and he's down inside. Right around the 40-yard line. They're going to spot him at the 43. Clock still running, less than 3 to go. 2 yards to pick up a first down. Holmes takes the snap off the left shoulder. He's looking left, fought, and dropped. Reese, the intended target. But again, throwing towards that out shoulder. When the runner's cutting inside, it's just difficult to readjust. We're kind of seeing the result of the Cyclones using 4 quarterbacks. You just don't have time to get that many players practice time. Holmes going to run it right up the middle again. He cuts towards the left hash mark. He's got plenty of space now, and he takes on all comers. He dives over the tackle, taken down right around the 34-yard line. The Cyclones pick up a big first down with a huge chunk of yardage. Less than 2.5 to go. And my math is terrible. I don't know what I was talking about with a chance to tie it. With a field goal, you have to get the touchdown. I forgot about the 2-point conversion. Pass over here towards the near sideline, and it's intercepted. The Falcons have it. Both teams giving it to each other. A little smack talk going on. No penalties have been thrown. Well, as I say that, there's a flag that came out there late. But yet another interception. at the most inopportune time possible. The Cyclones were rolling. They were picking up big chunks of yardage, but unless their defense can come up with some magic here, it looks like it's going to be a Falcons win. Fourteen is 14-9 is your score. 2:08 left. So the late penalty was going to be, or is, against the Falcons. So if you're a Cyclones fan, obviously that's the only silver lining right now, is you can really kind of maybe try to sell out, hopefully, or just hope that your defensive backs can keep enough coverage that you can get pressure. Maybe force a fumble. Snap is good. Run over towards the left. Cyclones are able to get it. They cross the goal line. They've got the touchdown. Unbelievable. They force the fumble and they score. 1:59 to go. And the Cyclones defense has come up huge. There's a penalty after everything.
The football gods are blessing us.
I don't know if it's for the Cyclones having too many players running onto the field. They also had a coach that came out onto the field. The touchdown is going to stand, and then there's going to be a penalty on the Cyclones for the point after opportunities. But that played out basically. It's the only positive that I could potentially figure out for that play. Cyclones got enough time. They were able to knock it loose on the run play. And that was Julian Hollins to come up with something there as he was able to, I don't know if he knocked the ball loose. There were probably 2 or 3 Cyclones right around everything. Hollins picked up the loose ball, was able to keep himself off the ground long enough to dive into the end zone. And all of a sudden, after all that, it is 15-14 in favor of the Cyclones with an opportunity to go up by 3 potentially. They're going to go for 2. They've got Holmes out on the field. Though they had Hack out there for just a moment, I think they were trying to maybe kind of trick the Falcons into the wrong personnel. Falcons do get a little bit of a late substitution there, but Holmes takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and he's going to be taken down at the 10-yard line. So all that for naught. Just about 2 minutes left. 1:59 officially. 1-point game. Both teams with late touchdowns. You thought things were done, but the Cyclones come roaring back. The Falcons went up 14-3 with a 75-yard touchdown.
Oh, they're sending out the kickers. This is a totally different kickoff team.
It seemed like that was going to be all she wrote.
They're starting to kick out the team. This is all hitters.
Cyclones were able to string together some plays. Got a touchdown with about 5 or so minutes left. That made it 14-9. Then I gave you fans, you lovely fans watching at home, all sorts of wrong math. I was sitting here saying, well, they still have a chance to tie with a field goal. And I really don't know where my mind was at with that. But it was 14-9 at the point. Cyclones throw an interception. So you have to really wonder, any little tweak here or there, and you get a butterfly effect. So who knows how this game turns out when you change one thing here or there. But that penalty, after that last interception, when that seemed like it was it, all the Falcons had to do was just hold on to the ball, get maybe a positive run here or there, and then maybe kick it away at the very least. Instead, they take the penalty. It puts them down inside the 10. Cyclones get the pressure. They're able to strip the ball. It bounces their way back towards the end zone. Hollins keeps his balance, falls into the goal, and it is 15-14 right now. But still time on the clock. A lot of time. Good kick by Hack. Fielded at the 20-yard line. They fake a little pitch back. Falcons looking for space on their left side. They get it up to the 40-yard line, so now they have 60 yards to go to try to get a touchdown. Less than that if they want to take a crack at a field goal, but they have not tried a field goal all day. And their kicker, who has been shaky on the punts to say the least, was only even trying practice field goals from the 25-yard line, so he might be comfortable with a 35-yard kick should they get the ball that far. 1:52 left. Cyclones up by 1. So now it all comes down to the Cyclones defense. Daylight running out. Time on the clock as well. Now we know why they moved the game up to 5 o'clock local time. Push it back an hour and it would probably be pretty much dark out there. Another shaky snap. Going for a pass play. Now it's a scramble up the left hash mark, and there's space in front for the Falcons. They've got a first down. Cyclones just need to keep them in bounds. 1:42, 1:40 left. Falcons trying to get organized and back up to the line. Ball is set. It's on the 44. First down and 10. 1:25 to go. Falcons just rush 4. Or Cyclones rush 4. They go with a big pass play. Falcons receiver fell down. Cyclones caught the ball. They're going to say it was out of bounds, so no interception. Second and 10 coming up from the 44. 1:10 to go. Cyclones in a mad rush over towards the sideline, trying to get the right defensive personnel that they want out there. Profit comes out, as does Clark. 2 fresh players in there, trying to get them more secondary help. Again, just a 4-man rush. They come along the edges, space out there as they push them across the pocket, crossing the 40-yard line down to the 38. 60 seconds left, but the clock is rolling. Third down at about 5. And now we get whistles and a timeout taken. Defense wanted to just let things roll. Coach Galladay trying to play it a little smarter, wanting to get everybody set on the same page. Looks like Antoine Baker is out there. I don't know if he's just taking a breather or if he came up a little bit lame. 50 seconds left in the quarter, perhaps the game. At this point, you have to figure almost surely the game. But crazier things have happened. Who would have thought after everything that the Cyclones would even be in the lead? Right now they're up by 1. Cyclones would really love a third down stop here, put all the pressure on one play. Falcons going to roll it out to the near side. Space out here, crossing the 35 and out of bounds. First down is gained. 42 seconds left. Ball at the 32-yard line. Falcons have done a good job of swapping field position. They've at least given themselves an opportunity to think about something late. But again, you have to figure that they need the ball inside the 20 to give themselves an opportunity where their kicker would at least even be remotely comfortable. High snap. Again, just a four-man rush. Pass out towards the left. Dolph over towards it, and there has been no signal. I think they're going to say that he made the catch. Down around the 27. Clock is rolling, 20 seconds left. And offside on the receiver on the far side for the Falcons. He jumped way too early. 16 seconds left. Again, just a 1-point lead for the Cyclones. Depending on the result of this play, this could be it. I mean, you figure 16 seconds is enough time to maybe get 2 or 3 plays off, but you got to get something over towards the sideline. So now they've adjusted the clock. It's down to 6 seconds. So this will be potentially the final play of the game. Cyclones come with pressure off the edge. Hands to the face. The quarterback trying to chuck the ball up. He throws it up. Oh, and it's intercepted. The Cyclones have it at the 20-yard line. The game is over. Cyclones have come all the way from behind. They trailed by as much as 14-3. They get 2 unanswered touchdowns late, and they are going to be victorious by a final of 15-14. They improve to 4-1 on the year. They hand the Falcons their first loss of the season. It wasn't pretty, but all you care about in the end is the final score. And the Cyclones end up with more points than their opponent. And that's what you want in the end. So the teams gather at midfield, congratulate each other on a hard-fought game. Both teams had it within their grasp. It was right there for both squads up until the very end. And that's why you play every second of the game, because every play ends up mattering, and the Cyclones got it done at the very end. It was a fumble recovery by the Cyclones, picked up by Julian Hollins. He gets the game-winning touchdown. And the Cyclones, as I mentioned, pick up their fourth win of the season. That'll wrap it up for our coverage. We apologize for not being able to get this game on live for you, but hopefully you enjoyed it no matter what. For everybody here at Missouri Cyclones football, thank you for watching. I've been Todd Panula. Until next weekend, have a good one, Cyclones fans.